Hey guys, Unclejona here, back with a beer review, and we are going back Dutch, well, to the Netherlands at least, and this one is up here in Alkmaar, something like that, and it's Moersleutel, something like that. Brewery. It's the one with the spanner on it, if you know what I mean. And I haven't done anything else in the magazine, so I am surprised. Beg your pardon, because this beer was judged by Beer 52 as the best beer of the box. It's been a while since I've done that. I know I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I never do. So, dear viewer, I apologise. But this apparently was the best one. It says it's a spin on a classic stout with 35% rye. Expect it to be big and bold. And it's 5.5% on the ABV. So more Moersleutel, and then the beer. Obviously, it's rye stout, but it's Rygefull Breow Brew. Don't know. My Dutch is terrible. Anyway, let us see what we have. Any of the info. Let's zoom in on me because you probably look at that. It's focusing on my face, but it should be focusing on the label. Label out, as we used to say back in the day. There we go. Beer engineers. Photo by Charlotte Booker. Oh, Boer. Wow. Cool. So we will show her off. There we go. Alkmaar, Netherlands. Imported by James Clay and Sons. Huddersfield. Interesting. Right, this is what I want to see. So, barley, rye, hopsy. So they've only basically added the rye in. And the photo they're talking about is down this little bit down here, which is kind of, oh, it looks like some standing stones. So I wonder if they are in Holland. Oh, pardon me. This is not the first beer I've had today, so I apologise, dear viewer. Nice black bottom, black top. Sorry, that's interesting. Black top, silver can, obviously silver bottom. Interesting. Well, it is to me. You know how we roll. Now, this beer or this can was a bit taut. I was a little bit worried about opening it, but it's fine. It's a stout, so sometimes they do weird things and they kind of explode everywhere, but this one was okay. Beer glass, beer glass, blah, 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 blah. There is the tulip, which we'll call that, the Dutch tulip. Have you ever had a Dutch tulip in Amsterdam? That is not a euphemism, but those that know will know. It's been a while since I've been as well. I've done much wrongness in Amsterdam, but that is the way. What goes on in Amsterdam stays in Amsterdam. I once lived there. Well, I stayed there for a month once. Boom. That's what we're getting. Oh wow! Look, the head has totally dissipated. So this is what happens when you don't put any oats or wheat in your dark beer. Rye just doesn't cut the mustard. Look, it's just not producing any head whatsoever. I'll tell you what would be interesting to see if some of these bubbles stick on the side. I don't think they will, but let's see what happens. The hops in here are Bramling Cross, which is a very British hop, which I like to see. We've got some roasted malt, obviously. We've got the rye. We've got caramel malt in there too, which is a little bit like crystal. It adds a bit of sweetness to the beer. Don't know where this cough has come from. Maybe I caught something at the Royston. Maybe I caught something in Amsterdam while I was there. That was like, Jesus, 20, over 20 years, 25 years ago, maybe. My God, where does time go? It's absolutely ridiculous. But I love Amsterdam. I think it's cool. When you embrace the culture, it's yeah, it's a cool place to go. And from the UK, especially if you live in London or surroundings, getting to Amsterdam is easy. You go to St Pancras, and off you go. You can be there within a couple of hours. Unfortunately for me, I'm in Kent, so I'm a lot nearer to Holland than you guys are. But if I want to get there, I can't. There's no ferries anymore. I could drive to Folkestone and get the tunnel across to France and then drive up. Why would I want to do that? Well, probably quicker. Or I could get on the very, very expensive train, which is in rush hour, it's £100 to get to London, believe it or not, and then get to St Pancras and then go back out again. What the hell? Anyway, let us let's dive in. Please help me support the channel by subscribing and all that kind of jazz. I'm here to entertain you. That's really all I am. This channel is about talking about beer, talking a bit of old told nonsense, and yeah, hopefully we'll grow the channel. That's my aim. Doesn't seem to work that well, but yeah, you can make the difference by subscribing. Leave me a like, leave me a comment down below. All of that kind of stuff helps. I know all the channels say that kind of jazz, but it really does work. Cheers and beers. Oh, oh. So, first thing, you do get a bit of a hit of that kind of roastiness and that sort of real gnarly kind of biscuit sort of lying in the haystack kind of thing coming from the malts. But then instantly, the caramel malt takes you into a bit of a sweet heaven. It's almost like a kind of, one of those chewy kind of bars that's got chocolate, but it's got sugar in it too. It's kind of a malty sweetness. It's nice, but a bit gnarly as well. Because the rye is meant to be healthy as well. I don't know if it is. I'm not sure if it's any healthier, especially in beer, than anything else. However, it does give that kind of rustic, um, gnarly bread kind of thing that's going on. But then you get the sweetness of the caramel. So it's like, oh, is this good or is this not good? Well, let me tell you, it's good for you. Drinking beers like this, definitely good for you. And yeah, 5.5. Beg your pardon, 5.5% on the ABV, which I think this one is. Yeah, it says right on the front, 5.5. There we go. It says rye, smooth and roast. Nice, I like that. Doesn't say sweet, but I would say this is a sweet stout. It is definitely not a dry stout, in my opinion. So I've had one sip and absolutely not a sausage. Nothing is sticking to the side of the glass, which is my only kind of, my only downside. Look, if I tilt the glass this way and then pull it back, it does kind of sit there for a while, but then it all drops back in. Kind of, it's got the legs, as we used to call it. If that was a whiskey, you'd say it has the legs, but it doesn't hang around for very long. It all kind of falls down. It's like it's like your missus's tights when they lose their elasticity. They get a bit baggy and they don't hang around. They all drop to the floor. Like Nora Batty. You've got to be of a certain age to remember that, but they all kind of wrinkle down the bottom. Um, wrinkly bottom. You know what I'm into. Cheers and beers. Oh, that is actually, I mean, I think that's really, really tasty. I did some beer judging at the end of last year. I think it was end of September, maybe beginning of October time, and I was judging bottled beers. So this is obviously a canned beer, but there were some proper strong imperial stouts. Um, this kind of has that, but in obviously a lower ABV. I had one the other day, which was a 12.5% stout from Spain, and it was just ridiculously strong in flavour, but also the alcohol was strong. Obviously, you can have ridiculous beers that go up to like 20% and all that kind of stuff, which I have tried in the past, but I mean, I don't know. Do you enjoy actually drinking that strong stuff? It's like almost having a beer that's, well, beer stroke whiskey. Do you know what I mean? And I like whiskey. Whiskey is 40% more or less, and you can go up to sort of 60% if you want to go really strong. So if you want to drink a really strong beer, why not drink a whiskey instead? Um, but yeah, this has the I was going to say it's not as heavy on the body. So this is quite a light beer. Uh, and alcohol-wise, 5.5%. Yeah, it's not to be sniffed out, but it's not a really, really strong, unctuous beer. But it kind of gets that way. It's getting your brain thinking in those terms. And at 5% or 5.5%, that's quite a good introduction to kind of strong beer. I mean, it's not imperial, it's not Baltic, it's kind of in between. Um, but yeah, it gets your brain thinking, and that's a good thing, believe it or not. Dear viewer, cheers. Yeah, the sweetness is weird. It's like pastry stouts. Now, some pastry stouts are reasonably strong. You're looking sort of 8, 9%. So you could say that the rye flavour is taking us in a way, but the sweetness in there is taking us in a slightly different way as well. Really, really interesting beer. I'm actually liking that. And I've had a few of these before. Well, I've had a few beers from this brewery in the past. Moersleutel. Tell you what, they are definitely one to look out for. Um, if you're ever that way, by that I mean Holland stroke the Netherlands, believe it or not, a lot of people think Holland and the Netherlands are exactly the same. They're not. Um, it's like saying England and the British Isles, or actually, I'll say it's like Britain and the UK. Believe it or not, that is actually different because of certain islands and principalities that exist. And that's the same as the difference between Holland and the Netherlands. The Netherlands includes some other smaller, very small, in fact, principalities and island that doesn't, it's not part of Holland itself. But they are not mutually exclusive, so they are different terms for slightly different areas. Ooh, pardon me. I know I've been going on a little bit long, so thank you for bearing with me. If you're still here, you obviously like the sound of my dulcet tones. So please, if you haven't done already, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of jazz. It really does help out. Let's finish this off and you can get on your way. Hardly any head sticking to the side of that glass. Very strange, dear viewer. Very, very strange. Anyway, that is my review of the Rye Stout by Moersleutel. And yeah, I think this beer is basically a watered down version of one of their other beers. And they've made this exclusively for the Beer 52, which obviously I subscribe to. And I don't always agree with everything that they do, but that beer is pretty damn good, I tell you that. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and Unclejona will be back with another beer review. And you know what I'm going to say. It's coming up real soon.